Greetings, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Augury, Bibliomancy, and Chaos, upon this occasion presented in an ASMR format, because why not? Today, in celebration of my new book, The Mystery of Dreams, I bring you the editor's foreword. Greetings, dear reader. For the sake of my dear Christian readers, whom I hope have purchased this tome in great hopes of finding much godly wisdom, I will briefly address my moniker of Dream Wizard to strongly dispel the notion I fancy myself any manner of oracle or prophet by adopting such a name. To speak plainly on the matter, I make no claims to bearing messages from angels of the Lord in my work, and the allusion to any magical powers is but a somewhat grandiose and in no small part tongue-in-cheek metaphor towards the mere appearance of performing miracles through the employ of knowledge gained by long and intense study of the natural sciences, and a more broad, overarching metaphysical theodicy. So it is that I bring this document to the fore as both a humble man of science engaged in the arts of psychology, and as a genuine, open-hearted seeker of spiritual understanding regarding the eternal nature of mankind. Be assured that, though I am not a believer, I am one who knows well what it means to be deluded of the devil, and in such delusion lead others astray. Regarding my self-appointed title, one may be equally assured that I would sculpt and style myself in the mold of such worthy literary exemplars as Gandalf the White, or Socrates of Athens, who both sought to fight against evil in the defense of truth and virtue, and not remotely after the odious Grimer Wormtongue, or the sophists, who sought only to abuse and control through tricks and lies. Thus, though it may seem a grievous vanity to so call myself a wizard, please know that this is done in all good humor, and with no small part of pride-banishing humility. To the document itself, it must first and foremost be said that this was a horribly broken text, greatly misshapen by the ravages of time, and so nearly illegible in large parts. No small amount of research and surgical excision has rendered it now infinitely more comprehensible. Where some omissions occur in comparison to the source text, this was a matter of necessity, the original sources being long lost to antiquity, or the illegible phrases being so obscured and incomplete that no proper understanding could obtain. One will find extensive footnotes in this text, far in excess of my prior work, owing largely to my great effort in not only identifying historical figures, at best vaguely referenced by the original author, but in preserving the enormous amount of Latin contained within the text, and making my best attempt to faithfully render that into English. Likewise, any scholar familiar with the source material will find this edition significantly altered from the original format. In adapting this content, I made the editorial decision to attempt a version more readable in flow, though this required a massive deviation which effectively obliterated the original presentation. Mea culpa, yet also Victoria meum. In editing this work, I was well pleased to discover the good preacher much advocating the concept that dreams are an active working of the mind or soul in sleep, as this was a subject of vigorous debate in his time indeed dating back to antiquity, and not at all the settled science we take for granted today. As the author writes, we see then dreams are the thought works of the waking mind in the sleeping man. A bold and profound declaration. The opponents of such a theory would argue that dreams exist as something entirely separate from the workings of the mind or soul, as attested by some natural philosophers referenced in the text, thus bearing no relation to the waking experience or thoughts of the dreamer, and so asserted to be nothing more than the vapors arising from one's last meal, afflicting the humors of the body that then disturb the mind in sleep. To that argument, his remarks presage the most learned minds of our modern age when he says that, to paraphrase, as it is with one while awake, so shall it be in their sleep. Thus, as the preacher says, a mind steeped in sin upon the daytime will find his dreams much afflicted by such demons in his sleep. Quoting, commonly, that filthiness which a man's mind is fixed upon in the day when awake will visit him in the night, find him out, and fasten upon him in sleep. Unquote. Yet so too, he says, may the mind of a man occupied by the glory of God find his dreams aspiring to the heights of heaven in sleep. Our good preacher's core sermon upon this text might be summarily expressed in the modern idiom, garbage in, garbage out. To the laymen who have purchased this tome as a curiosity, and who may scoff at the religious or supernatural nature of the content, we may say that, though one will find many the fire and brimstone exhortation against sin in dreams, the word sin appearing in this text some 558 times, yet does the good preacher make many a valid argument wholly in concert with the purely secular observations found within the rigorous scientific context of psychology. His words may be equally understood and hold equally true, without necessary reference to the divine or sin in any broadly religious context, nor should his words be dismissed by the atheist for such reference. As we understand of dreams today, from long study, whatever matter is upon the waking mind will often be reflected in our dreams. From a purely secular perspective, it is indeed the waking dysfunctions and distractions of a disturbed mind that give rise to the disturbances found in our dreams, and so contrariwise. To that end most specific, our good preacher seeks to deliver upon this commentary not only the assertion that some truth may be found in dreams, but to describe a mechanism by which we may distinguish the useful opportunity for self-reflection found in good dreams from the vain delusions men may come to invest with belief, whether in ignorance or towards a desire for pure self-satisfaction. Goodwin writes, "True dreams, in a direct line, lead to the glorification of God in the good of men, and to the edification of men in the matters of God. But false dreams, their drift is to draw the souls of men aside to such acts as are dishonorable to God, disagreeing to his word, and disadvantageous towards men's eternal good. To wit, one must seek to draw the best and most proper lessons from examining their dreams, and make it our chief desire to know how the content of our dreams might lead us towards a good and better way of living, or away from evil and self-destruction, whether the dreams themselves be comforting or affrighting. As our good preacher asserts, dreams are rarely so straightforward in their meanings, and one must take care to distinguish between dreams sent by the devil to tempt and torment, and such scaring dreams as God may send in warning to direct the attention of the mind towards addressing the matters that cause such fears. For my part, as a man of science in service to the art of psychology, I attempt a similar search for true understanding of dreams in my work. Toward achieving a proper interpretation of dreams, whether viewed as metaphysical or purely psychological, the dream experiences must be carefully considered as highly personal to the waking circumstances of the dreamer and in the context of their unique waking reflection. What then matters most, as both our good preacher and modern psychology agree, is that which may lay upon the dreamer's conscience in considering their dreams, and whether or not we strive to comprehend what such subconscious experiences of the sleeping mind may seek to communicate to our waking mind about the troubles we endure, our emotions and aspirations, and how we might then act in response. To that matter, I must caution the reader against making harsh assumptions of a man's character based solely on such broad strokes as mere dream imagery. For to dream of sin or dysfunction need not indicate a soul disposed to sin, nor a deranged mind. Those of us thus properly horrified in dreaming of disturbing things need not take these experiences of the dream as indications we desire to commit such deranged acts, but rather as if a higher power graces us with kind and generous admonition. In the secular sense, this may be best understood as the work of our mind itself in unceasing problem-solving, never idle, not even in sleep. Problem-solving by way of generating dream experiences which, 1. Remind us that we face very real worldly dangers. 2. Highlight consequences that may attend these problems should we fail to address them successfully. And 3. Allow us to explore potential solutions in a theoretical or imaginary framework. For the Christian among our dear readers, who may be most concerned that they not fall prey to the delusions of the devil in deceitful dreams, this tome may yet provide sage advice, despite its advanced age. In brief, we may summarize that our good preacher believes a vision in sleep may only be a prophecy of God, or true dream, if it comports with the teachings inherent to the Word of God found within the pages of His Holy Bible. Quoting Matthew 7:15 through 20, "You will know them by their fruits." In reading this work, you will be made aware of the tendency for sin itself to steal upon your dreams at night, no less than it may in the daylight, as the soul never sleeps. You will receive prescriptions, so as not to be tempted by evil delusions of grandeur, and under such pretty colors thus raise arms to overthrow princes, thinking yourself a prophet ordained by God. You will also be admonished to give due prayer and much meditation in the daytime, that God may reveal his true purpose in sending such dreams by night. For my secular readers, who may be less inclined to such religious or metaphysical understanding, I hope you will yet take this work as a genuinely enlightened and knowledgeable book of historical and metaphorical exemplars, as I regard the Bible itself, well cited and well reasoned by the author in his scholarship. For my part, though I yet abstain from faith in being agnostic, I still find great value in biblical stories as collected wisdom, best appreciated as patterns and precedents referenced from within a particular cultural understanding of common human experience. To wit, one need not be a believer to draw great benefit from the study of these stories in their historical context. For the best possible apprehension and application, the agnostic reader may simply substitute the equivalent secular concepts as we may find in the lexicon of modern psychology, and no less truth, wisdom, or sage advice of the Magi will obtain. Whether layman or adept, we may all find value towards the proper understanding of dreams in this text, the atheist no less than the Christian, and I am greatly pleased my dear readers have chosen to seek such knowledge from my work. Sincerely, Benjamin Davidson, Dream Wizard, Portland, Oregon, February 1st, 2021.